don't do a fit load on your husband's protruding knobby. Oh, most importantly, that there's no penetrators of smoke in his orifundum. There's a deep poly in that. And furthermore, this deep barrel philoloper, little tweaky tough load down on the rotating wang loading engine and Bob's your uncle throw. Oh, joy.
Why are you talking like that?
I honestly can't answer that question, madam. I spoke like this once for the BBC 35 years ago, and they've kept me doing it ever since. And that's why I'm in the hospital, too. Now, if you'll excuse me, ho, ward number 4 and the surgeon's through, and this call will be half-hours through.
Bing bong, would-be nurse, please go to ward F. Mr. Lobley is coming up with another invention. Quickly stop him, nurse, before he comes up with another invention. Bong bing.
Nurse, there's no lemon in my gins, mate. You know what I'm going to do when I get out of here, nurse? I'm going to make millions from the post office.
And how will you do that, Mr. Lobley?
When you take a parcel down to the post office, they weigh them and charge you the appropriate fee. But suppose you put a helium-filled balloon in the parcel, then the parcel would be lighter than air. Take that to the post office, they'd weigh it and find it was minus 10 ounces. And if it's minus 10 ounces, then the post office will owe me money. Around 10 quid, I reckon, first class.
And how much do you think a canister of helium costs, then?
Well, here's the really clever bit, nurse. I'd addressed the parcel to myself. So as soon as the postman delivered it, I could take it to another post office and get more money. I'd take the same parcel to every post office in the country. There are 30,000 post offices in the country, nurse.
Ridiculous.
Nurse.
I've told you before, Mr. Lobley, you really mustn't try and eat the pillows. I'm afraid you just don't pass muster. You're in for the duration. A dozen mogadon.
Hello, Mr. Posty. You're late on your rounds this morning.
Piss off.
Fair enough.
Chuck cake.
My postman's crap. He should be walking through my gate. Surprisingly enough, he's very, very late.
Well, what's 12 hours anyway?
Early in the morning. Well, not very early in the morning. In fact, sometimes at the crack of noon. With letters sent in March but delivered in June. As he whistles some moronic tune. He's as popular with me as a fart in a crowded lift. You're bone idle, you are.
Here's a telegram. I opened it in error.
Opened in error?
Aye, I was on holiday in Dublin, that's in error. I had it in my pocket and I read it. Anyway, it says your mother's dead.
Huh?
She's kicked bucket.
Oh, my God.
No, don't worry. They buried her weeks ago. I've been in my pocket for 2 months.
No. My postman's crap, my postman's dross. When it comes to my packages, he couldn't give a toss. He folds in half my letter that says photographs do not bend. I say, look, it says photographs do not bend.
They bloody well do bend, my friend.
Down at the sorting office, they play football without a ball. They use parcels labelled fragile glass, and they head them against a wall.
So, mate, go on, kick it. Nice one.
What's in this one anyway? Stained glass.
Oh, well, if it's stained, no one's going to care, are they?
Goal.
Nice one.
Eddie.
Oi, don't go. There's a parcel here for Cambridge.
Cambridge, 1939. Excuse me, could you come back in 5 minutes after I've had my lunch, please?
The family tree, a tree on whose interweaving branches we are each of us but a single leaf. Who can say when those leaves will blossom, where the winds of fate will blow them, or where they will fall? Tonight we celebrate 2 such lives in kith and kin.
I've had my lunch. Cambridge, 1939. And the brilliant philosopher Bertrand Russell had just completed his PhD, proving by a process of pure logic that anyone who has been to an Oxbridge University always mentions it within 8 minutes of arriving at a dinner party.
It teaches you to view actions that seem to you obviously absurd as inevitable.
Hilda Baker, the glamorous founder of St Hilda's College, persuaded Russell to adapt his uncompromising brand of philosophical empiricism for the musical stage, advising him to cut down on the pure logic and go for the teeth, tits and tinsel and plenty of underwear.
It was during his production of the Principia that he met Jane. "What do you enjoy reading, Professor Russell?" inquired the starlet. "John done poetry." "I think you mean John did poetry." Russell was impressed by her grasp of syntax.
Within weeks, Jane and Bertrand Russell were wed. A string of successes followed. His next musical, Do People in Glockamora Wonder How Things Are Over Here, was his greatest success to date. The distinguished musicologist Mervyn Briggs explains why.
The Hollywood director, Busby Berkeley, persuaded Jane and Bertrand to sign a 5-year contract with MGM in Hollywood.
Their arrival was headline news in Variety, the world's only spinning newspaper. You do it by winding up the elastic band and spinning it. There it goes. Lovely.
Bertrand took Tinseltown by storm. His first musical, An Inquiry into Meaning and Truth with 10 Luscious Lovelies, caused an overnight sensation, and soon went into production at MGM with a score by Lawrence Welk and a cast that included Roy Rogers and Trigger. Never in the history of philosophy had so much leg been revealed in the pursuit of ontological truth. Meanwhile, Jane starred in his film version of Albert Camus' novel about an existentialist with big tits. L'étranger, le étranger, l'étranger, le étranger. The outlaw. And he was determined to provide her with adequate support for this new role. Working together with Philip Oppenheimer and a team of engineers at Los Alamos, he used his mathematical prowess to develop a series of foundation garments that shook the world of underwear science to its core.
He was trying to get a seamless bra. And it was a good idea, and he was ahead of his time, as usual. But it was a contraption.
The marriage ended. The bubble burst. The dream collapsed. The stupid moustache, the old-fashioned glasses, the cliched ow! Heartbroken, Bertrand returned to Cambridge to take up the chair in deconstruction.
A joke he found singularly unamusing.
One more for the road.
Jane turned to drink and was last seen squatting in the dream house at the Ideal Home exhibition. Tragically, Bertrand never knew that he had a son, and...
Hello, Mum.
So, pardon?
Because of them, I've become quite a controversial figure. There are those who say I look like my father, dear Bertrand. I suppose it's the shock of white hair we share. While another camp insists I resemble my mother, dear Jane. I suppose it's my baby blue eyes.
He's quite something, isn't he? I love him in tight bandages. How did it happen?
Motorcycle crash. Very nasty.
Is he still wearing leathers under his bandages?
Here we go again.
It's the police.
The police?
It's okay. It's not about your ultrasound and Mazola parties. They want to see the wife.
The police are here to see you. It's all right. They're not the real police. They're the BBC police. We like to keep it in-house.
Don't worry, ma'am. We'll only ask him gentle questions. Whether he likes raindrops on roses, whiskers on kittens, that sort of thing. You see, we're not all thugs, madam. We're nice, wholesome, caring, sharing people. Me, for example, I'm sensitive. I like the simple pleasures. I like nothing better than going down a park and watching the children shouting, jumping up and down, running about in all directions, screaming. Well, how can they know I'm only firing blanks? But to business, madam. I need to take some details. Were there enemies?
Well, the cat never liked him.
Bit of a rabble-rouser, was he? Used to like to smash up hotel rooms, did he?
Not exactly.
Not exactly, but...
Well, he'd often leave the hot water running longer than was necessary.
Anarchist. I'm starting to get the picture. This is fun, isn't it?
Bing bong. Could the restraining unit please proceed to the music therapy wing, where the BBC Big Band are starting up with an old TV theme tune. Stop them. Bong bing.
The life support machine's malfunctioning.
What's the matter with it?
Technically, it's buggered. It's that monitor. Should be showing the brain scan, but look.
That's impossible. Maybe it's the wiring that's wrong. No? Peculiar, isn't it? It's like looking through one of those spy holes indoors. You always think it's Barry Manilow on the landing. Seldom is, though. Well, here's one for the Lancet.
Good blimey, you've had quite a week of it, haven't you, Governor? Motorcycle crash, comedy coma.
Comedy coma, that's right, lying in a BBC hospital.
Yeah.
Hoovering between life and death. Sorry, hovering between life and death.
Yeah. You've had your Bertrand Russell.
Russell, that's right. My brain's been saturated with old television pictures.
Pictures, yeah. I like that Stanley Hunwin. Overjoyedly to meet you.
And I seem to be turning into a human video playback machine. It's most peculiar.
Yeah, it's peculiar. Of course, the worst thing for you is your wife only cares about your money.
You're right. My alter ego must lash out. It must lash.
Lash! Lash!
Hello, 950.
Oh, hello. I saw your ad in the newspaper, you know, for the massage.
Right.
Said no time wasters.
Right.
I quite understand that. I've had that myself.
Right.
I put an ad to sell a mummified Latvian bat penis, and I had a load of time wasters, I can tell you. On the phone all the time.
I can imagine, actually.
Yeah, you don't need it.
No. Anyway, let me give you some details.
Right.
The thing is, I don't have my own transport, so that does limit me on visiting.
Oh, sorry, I wandered off. Could you hold on a second? Sorry, there's somebody at the door.
Yeah,
Could you
sure,
hold on, Tom?
sure.
Oh, hello. I'll have the usual 400 tons with all the heads off. Thanks. Sorry to waste your time. It was the dog meat man.
That's okay. Anyway, though.
Did you, if you don't put no time wasters down, what do they do? Do they, do you get a lot of, do you get a lot of calls?
Well, the answer to your question is no. I've never actually.
Yeah, hold on a second. Sorry, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Tracy, leave Butch alone, will you? Sorry about that. It's my 3-year-old daughter, Butch, being taunted by our Rottweiler, Tracy.
Okay.
I bet you're right about the time-wasting thing.
Well, I tell people just phone on the day. Because
Yeah, could you... oh, sorry about this. My wife's just come in.
Right.
Hello? What? I'm busy. I'm talking to the man who put the ad in. The one who said he didn't want the time-wasters. Oh, and another thing. The neighbours have been complaining about all the noise you make during sex, so you're not going round there anymore. Do you hear me?
I don't think there's any point in continuing the conversation.
Please don't put the phone down on me.
Well,
I'm the alter ego of someone in a comedy coma. I'm nasty. My family crest is 2 maggots rampant over a bucket of sick. Waste my time?